Hello everyone, I'm Yan Li, a computer science PhD candidate at the University of Minnesota, and I'm going to share some preliminary results on spatial big data analysis to understand COVID-19 impacts on mobility. First, I would like to thank fellow researchers Arun Sharma and Professor Shashi Shekhar, along with SafeGraph for data and Minnesota policymakers for use cases. Minnesota COVID-19 interventions started in March and were slowly relaxed in 4 steps starting in May 2020. To understand impacts, policymakers are interested in spatial big data to complement traditional urban traffic data and infrequent travel surveys. Nowadays, there are over 2 billion GPS receivers providing location and time to critical infrastructure. And location traces of mobile devices can provide insights into spatiotemporal patterns of our lives. For example, the SafeGraph provides census block group level mobility data and hourly POI visits with differential privacy protection. Its social distancing dataset is generated from 300,000 Minnesota devices, providing daily range and home dwell time by census block group. Daily range decreased from March to mid-April during stay-at-home and then inched up in Minnesota and Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Home dwell time shows similar trends, so where did people go after mid-April? Does the SafeGraph weekly pattern data provide any insights? SafeGraph weekly pattern data includes 73,000 POIs in over 200 categories. Besides the number of visits, it also provides dwell times as well as visitors' home census block group. Visits to most frequented business categories dropped in March and slowly inched up starting late April, with a few exceptions. For example, grocery store visits increased temporarily in early March, and hardware store visits increased March through June. Alcoholic bar visits dropped in March with short visits dominating. Long visits recovered quickly in June with the Minnesota reopening, showing new risks. Full-service restaurant visits were dominated by short visits, starting in March, possibly due to delivery and pickups. Long trips started to inch up in June with Minnesota reopening phase 2. Visits to limited service restaurants like McDonald's are always dominated by short trips with full recovery in June. The longer visits are slow to recover. In summary, privacy-protected spatial big data such as SafeGraph has signatures of spatiotemporal patterns of COVID-19 impacts on our lives. It adds value to traditional data sources due to higher frequency and larger geographic coverage. In the future, we will investigate selection bias and novel spatiotemporal pattern mining algorithms to automate routine tasks such as hangout value identification from tens of terabytes of spatial big data. We thank our collaborators for a variety of contributions. Thank you for your listening.